everybody. Hopefully you're doing well today. There sure has been a lot of things happening behind the scenes. We don't see it on the media, of course, but I quit watching that like 10 years ago, so there's sure a lot going on. I do have a few things to go over, some more kind of miscellaneous information from Yellow Rose for Texas. So I'm just going to read out some of these things, and then maybe we can talk about it. Anyway, our EM field is not a protection. It is an AI net that Ra put around us to keep us captive. It is the origin of the Smith program from the Matrix, the holographic sky. The stolen mat, or Mott, is wrapped around On's arc, which arcs are like home planets. Hopefully you've watched the previous video so you know a little bit of who and what I'm talking about here. If not, please go back and watch them. But have you ever wondered I always wondered when I was younger too, every time you see like a true picture in space of the planets, there's always lines. There's always lines that go with this planet. And I always wondered what they were. And Rose has been the one to she's been the only one I could find that can tell me what they are. So she says they're poles. That's why we call it the North and South Pole. The poles you see in space attached to our planets are tracks. Planets can leave the poles and fly independently. So when you see these planets in space on these poles, we can move up and down to miss asteroids or things, I'm assuming. I don't know, but that seems pretty reasonable to me that they're a track. That's what keeps us kind of going around and around like a carousel. Anyway, the New World Order used HARP to destroy the mass of Earth to sabotage our exit. Our exit is coming up soon. It's called our Ascension back to Eden, heaven on Earth. So, but yeah, they tried to destroy our mass. The poles are called mass or tracks, and they tried to sabotage our exit. Covens, which are the Illuminati bloodlines, everybody calls them the Cabal. They're actual Covens. Use a dual name system. Like, for example, AT&T actually stands for An or Anu, Tiamat, and Tamil. UN is Uranus and Neptune. Owned by Elizabeth and the Rothschilds. It is a Vatican charter. Okay. The Wraith Archons and the L are in the Coptic record. They were known as brain parasites. The Wraith were symbiotes and Archons, which if you've ever watched Stargate Atlantis, they deal with the Wraith attacking humans and killing humans. Or the movie called The Host, where it has those little like jellyfish looking entities, and they embed themselves in the back of their neck and they take over that host's body. It's a great movie. So these parasites, they require hosts. They feed on humans. Elizabeth and all of her followers offered humanity as a food source. They have been implanting humanity, and this is how they have taken over. Everyone who went to a Bilderberg meeting became implanted. There's a lot of video out there, if you do some research too, where it shows like a lot of news reporters will have a double eye. Like they'll blink and you'll see another eye. Yeah, they've been implanted. Or Pirates of the Caribbean, where Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow, and he takes over that tribe. And when the other guy walks up and he's sitting there and he's got his eyes closed, but he has an eye on his eyelid. That's the double eye. Remember back in, I think it was 2013, all the observatories were closed. And we were wondering what the heck was going on at that time. What are they trying to hide? We all thought it was Nibiru coming in. There was a Dr. Eric Norton of NASA, who was an outside consultant, said if people knew, it would be the breakdown of not only religions but society itself. So I'm going to do a little timeline that kind of goes through what happened. On January 22nd of 2012, there were large L-shaped ships 200,000 miles past Mars, and then they vanished, and then they found out they parked themselves behind our moon. The pit, which people call Nibiru or Hercules, arrived on time with Serpentarius. October 12, 2013, the Grays and Prometheus ship were stranded off the sun. 12/2/2013, fighting continued and the people on Earth reporting 3 suns. All 7 candlesticks, they call them the candlesticks, they're the planets. That's why they're on poles, they're called candlesticks. Planets around Earth are to hold us in place or in prison. January of 2014, the papal key. The sun had 3 nodes which caught on fire and caused no escape for the Covens. There's a picture on her websites of the papal keys, which are crossed, and at the tip there's 3 nodes around the circle. And if you watch her videos, it shows the explosions of those 3 nodes coming off the sun. So this is why they can't escape. They can't go through portals to try and escape the bad ones, these bad entities. So they have no way of escape. They're stuck here. March 5th of 2014, there was a blast from Father, an unconscious knock to wake the people. March 11th, 2014, Earth took flight off her pole. And there's actual missing footage from March 10th of 2014 from 9:24 p.m. to midnight on March 11th. All blacked out because they don't want people to see. March 19th, 2014, Jupiter was destroyed. March 21st, 2014, all debt owed to An had been wiped out. Set lost his share of humanity from the division of the families. Our allies are parked above us, which I've talked about. They're out there. They're everywhere. People are seeing these ships everywhere. They are helping move Earth out of the abyss. They will move Earth to the horizontal position for the purpose of flight. If you follow Gina Marie Colvin Hill on YouTube, she has a lot of great videos on there. Go on there, it's crazy. But she has a picture. She calls it a ship, but it's a planet with the poles, and I'm pretty sure from Yellow Rose for Texas, her information, I'm pretty sure that might be Earth, because we've moved horizontal. And we're getting ready to exit our gate and go home. All electricity worldwide will be shut off, which we know is coming. All good life will be given the call during early morning hours. The veil will lift and all memory will return. The hologram sun will fall back against the horizon. The hologram door will open and humanity can cross over into your home arcs or your home worlds. We get to go home. I'm so excited. The DNA upgrade occurs. Mind and body are altered depending on which arc you choose. You exit transported in an incorruptible body suitable to that branch. For instance, if you choose Brahma, you leave that portal as a sentient being of Bull. Only the sealed by the one who is God go to the arc of man and exit the transport as man. This is why your choice of who sealed you is important. Under the law of free will, only you can correct your choice. Because of deliberate sabotage, the one says he has never seen so few names written in his book of life. And unfortunately, all these people taking the jab, altering their DNA, unfortunately, they're not human anymore. And they don't get to come with us, which is really, really sad. But we have to understand that we're all on a spiritual journey and that we're all on our own path. And they'll get there at some point. They'll get where they need to be. They'll come home eventually. This is a staggering loss of children and indigos. Every time he went to seal his people, the subconscious mind removed his seal because of an oath or vow given to another branch that their conscious mind wasn't aware of and was extracted from them, in order to be sealed by the Father, branch of mankind, who is God. It is because of these hybrid bodies we're in that this choice exists. Under normal circumstances, only the father of each branch may seal their own children. Because you are human, you can make a choice. We are hybrid bodies, as I've said before, I think in a previous video, that we are half human, half Naga, or reptile. I think pretty much everybody knows by now. Even Obama said it in an interview about our reptile brain. So we are not fully 100% mankind. When we ascend and go back into our fifth dimension or above, we will truly be 100% mankind. The Allies say that they can evacuate all of Earth under 10 minutes. This is when the net closes again, and then they draw the negative mast. The one will skin the L and the Moloch out of their host bodies. The unwitting followers can be redeemed, but the hierarchy at the top knew full well who they made the blood pact with and why. They are sociopaths. They enjoyed the slaughter and the profit they gained. They are unredeemable. This is the end of the company store system of Babylon, which is run by the Covens of Azazel under the acronym alias New World Order. It just reminds me of the TV series V, where there are reptiles. That had a lot of truth to it, and I was so mad when they canceled it because there was a lot of truth in that show. And I'll probably do another talk about some TV shows and movies, but that was, they would actually skin their people out of their human skins. So their reptile bodies would show underneath, but that would kill them to skin them. Anyway, the law is nothing of the old can go forward, and this will never happen again. Everything that is evil, corrupted, poisonous, and non-beneficial is drawn to the negative mast. It is then transferred to the pod and then towed to the pit, or Nibiru. The dome is completely cleaned out. The law is nothing evil or corrupt can go through the gate. After they are towed to the pit, he comes back and he tows Earth. As one group, where we go one, we go all. We exit through the gate. On the other side of the gate, are Laurel worlds. Worlds of green life and great beauty. Once there, Earth's mat is renewed. It goes through the same translation and gets an upgrade. There's a large party, There's a large party with all the families, and we call this the Gathering. After that, mankind settles down on the renewed Earth, and the 5th book of life starts. No more reincarnations, no more cycles. The wheel is broken. And she kind of goes over, I'll go over the 7 candlesticks. There's the Sumerian, we're going to start, which is where like the Anunnaki come in from the Sumerian times. So I'm going to have their name, and then really to understand this chart is basically like these beings have been here ruling us for thousands of years. And with each changeover, with each book of life, their identity changes. All they do is change their name, okay? So we don't know who they were or who they are. So there's their Sumerian name, their Egyptian name, their Hebrew name, their planet name, and then the papal name, which is kind of where we still are now. Which that has a lot of controversy. I grew up Catholic, so some of it's hard for me to kind of, I don't follow that religion anymore. I don't follow any religions. I don't believe in organized religions. But I'm a very spiritual person. And, I do believe there's a creator. But anyway, so I'll break the names down for you. So in Sumerian times, we had An or Anu, which was the father of Enki and Enlil. And then Egyptian times, he was known as Set. In Hebrew, he's known as Satan. Planet is Saturn. And the papal, he's actually Apostle John. Sumerian, Enki. Egyptian time, he was known as Ammon. In Hebrew, he's known as Yahweh. His planet is Neptune. And the papal name for him is Apostle Paul. Sumerian times in Enlil. Egyptian times, he was known as Osiris. Hebrew, he's known as Baal. His planet is Jupiter. He's Jupiter. And the papal, he's known as St. Peter. Sumerian times, we have Inanna, which in Egyptian times, she was known as Isis. Hebrew, she's called Lilith. Planets, she's Venus. And papal, she's called Mary Magdalene. Sumerian name of Marduk. The Egyptian name he had was Ra. The Hebrew name, he's Azazel. The planet is Mars. And the papal, he's Archangel Michael. Then in Sumerian times, we have Nanar. Egyptian times, he was known as Horus. Hebrew, he's known as Lucifer. Planet is Mercury. And papal name is Jesus. The last one is Tiamat, which is the planet that got destroyed. And it is now our asteroid belt. She kept the same name for Egyptian times. And then in Hebrew, she's known as Nama, and planet is Uranus, and then her papal name is Roxalana, which I don't know about that one. I'll have to do some research on that. Anyways, Again, this is not my information. This comes from Yellow Rose for Texas. This is what she's been giving out this information. So, like I said, some of that's kind of controversial. But it makes me think, like, what better way to deceive the people is to say you're an angel. And you're praying to these angels all the time. Who knows? I guess if they help you, they're good for you. So that's up for you to decide. And then the last thing I'm going to go over today is information about our sun. And I know there's been a lot of people saying, you know, that our sun is artificial. I bought a book about it, and there's a lot of pictures, a lot of information online you can find out about. But I know when I was little, the sun was very, very yellow. And now it's so bright, like you can't look at it. So anyway, this is some of her information about the sun. She says, we are in the abyss, which she has a picture in some of her videos where it shows heaven. It's like a globe, and you've got heaven on top, the abyss is in the middle, and the underworld is on the bottom. So kind of Middle Earth, but it's called the abyss. Lilith put a firewall up in front of the black sun. So the abyss's true sun is a black sun. So she put up a firewall in front of the black sun to mask it from our view. Otherwise, we would find out that we were in the abyss. This is the yellow sun we see. The yellow sun is the torch. The black sun of the Sith is behind her, or in front of her, depending on what satellite picture you're looking at. When Earth fell in battle, we pulled through the eye to an area that sits below heaven. We are fallen. This area is the abyss, which is their territory. This is why the branches of Set make all the laws for this area of space. As the war continued on and the others continued to capture mankind by use of the Kest, which is vote or selection, and insert them into this area. The foot or stair stayed down and attached when we were pulled in. If you go and watch her video called The Lie That NASA Told, The New World Order Demise, she has a video in there too, a clip of a physicist named Dr. Eric Dollard, and the U.S. Navy calls him the smartest physicist they've ever known. So he has someone interviewed him, and this is what he says about the sun. There is no inside structure. Question from the reporter, is it hollow? And he says, there's only a surface. There's nothing inside. Question, is the sun combusting in on itself? And then he says, it's not burning anything. There is no fusion in the sun. That's well understood. Question, is it proven? And he says, there's no way to prove there is any. It's only in the flares you get fusion, as well as in the X-rays. The flares, arcs, and X-rays and microwaves and whatever results as fusion in the arcs. There is no fusion in the sun. They don't know how the sun works. Question, how does the sun make light? He says it's a transformer. It transforms from some other dimension. It's not burning anything. It doesn't have to. It's a converter. I don't know. Nobody knows, but that's what it does. That's the only thing it can do, because that's how everything works. Question, it's transmitting from another dimension? Yes, you can say it's taking energy from another dimension or counter space. There is no energy, actually. Most of it you can't even measure in outer space or see. Question, the sun is not visible from space? Not in free space. It's only visible when gross matter becomes involved. like Earth's atmosphere, envelope, and the surface of the moon, and whatever that makes the light. Otherwise, there is no light. You can see the moon, you can see the Earth, but you can't see the sun, or you can't see the stars. Question: you can see planets and satellites. Right, yes, you can see material objects, but you cannot see the sources of light. There is no light until there's a material object. Question to reflect off of. So that means there's no time delay. So the whole time, the light thing is meaningless. It doesn't take light years. There are no light years because there's no light. So that means that light you see from a distant star isn't 4 million years old. It could be only minutes old. It could be instantaneous. All theories collapse when you can't see the stars in outer space. So, very interesting. Go back and watch that video. When you think about it, when you see the astronauts in space, like, yeah, we can see the moon, we can see Earth, but it's very dark otherwise. You don't see any stars, and I've never seen a picture of the sun while they're out there. I mean, that would be blinding, don't you think? I don't know, but anyway, there's a lot of miscellaneous information. So I just wanted to get some of that out because it's really interesting, and maybe some of you can do some more research on some of that stuff. And the next one I'll do here, I'll put it on a separate video. She had Yellow Rose for Texas had a video, and I think it's still on her YouTube channel. Where it's cool questions about Earth's exit. She answers some questions. So I'll do a separate video for that. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this information. Take it as you will. Anyway, we're going to make it through this, and it's going to be absolutely wonderful on the other side. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you soon. Thank you.